Hello, Heidi here, back with another one of my client stories. Let me tell you, it is a gorgeous day here in South Texas. I'm sitting on my front porch and I'm thinking, which story should I tell today? And I'm going to give you a heartwarming story because, of course, they're my favorites. Now, do know that not every client story ends up as beautiful as this one. There's some clients that don't get received so well. But I'm going to tell you Danielle's story, and she's given me permission in the past to use her real name. So these are real names. I know she wouldn't mind. Danielle was referred to me by another client of mine, a client that I saw before coming to DNAngels, who I really hit it off with well. And her name is Gina. And Gina had reached out to me and said, there's this sweet girl that she got her DNA test and she's not seeing her dad in any of her DNA matches. Can you help her out? Well, it happened to be the week of Thanksgiving and I was on vacation, like not even at home, on vacation. And I was like, because it's you, Gina, I'm going to. So go ahead and send her my way. So she sends her my way. I get connected with Danielle. That's my client, Danielle. I get connected with Danielle. And in the evening times, kind of in my downtime, I'm working on her case. She has some decent matches, so that was on her side. I sorted her DNA into the different DNA networks, and I'm building out the trees, and I realize that I have a Sherbath line and I have a Robbins line. So I tell Danielle, if you want to help me, because I don't have a lot of time, but if you want to help me, I'm looking to see where those two lines converge, and where they converge, I know that I'm going to have your grandparents. She took that task seriously. She went to work and she was the one that found the marriage record, that the convergence of those two lines. And so she so excited, and she messaged me. I remember I was in bed and she messaged me and she's like, I found it. And then I said, okay, well, we need to find their sons, because one of their sons is going to be your biological father. Well, they have two sons and they're twins. So if they're identical twins, it's going to be much more difficult to figure out which one's the father, because they're, the same DNA. But we were able to figure out that they were fraternal twins. And she was just one of those clients that just was very persistent, and she did a lot of work on her own. And she started reaching out to his family and his children and him. And he couldn't remember, if I remember correctly, one of the brothers had passed away already. And Ed, who turned out to be the twin that was her father, still alive. And Ed didn't remember her mother, but he was willing to take a DNA test, and it came back and he was her father. Now, Danielle, a little bit backstory, she did not have the most ideal childhood growing up. She had a stepdad that did his best. Well, who she thought was her, I call him stepdad, it's actually birth certificate father. It was the man that raised her. And he did the best that he could. Mom passed away when she was young, and she wasn't, didn't have the best relationship with her birth certificate father. She never had heard the words, I love you, growing up. And she was so happy to see that Ed was, willing to accept a relationship with her. So they went and they met. She was staying in a hotel room, and they had spent all day together. And he went to drop her off at the hotel room, and he gave her a hug, and he said, I love you, Danielle. Danielle messaged me, Heidi, I have never heard the words, I love you, from a parent. Think about that for a second. That was huge. It was a really big moment for her. And I was just so elated for her. So they continue. I think this case was probably about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. And they continue forging a relationship. She has a stepmom that is totally on board with her having a relationship with her father. And they lived several states away. And one day out of the blue, she messages me and she says, hey, I'm moving in with my dad. I'm like, well, that's super cool, So they move in together. She does. We message. We even though her case is solved, I still, keep in contact with my clients. And so she messages me a few times, and she's like, I'm mad at him. I heard him, talking about me and blah, blah. I'm like, well, this is family, Danielle. family, every family has troubles and arguments, and this is just, she wasn't used to, you know, that kind of dynamic. So they worked everything out, and they worked everything out to the point where she recently got married, and her dad walked her down the aisle. Such a blessing. She even went as far as to take on his last name. She had to jump through lots of hoops to get there, but she was able to take on his last name. And even though she got married, she still kept that last name, Sherbath, because she worked hard for that last name, and it means a lot to her. So here we are today, and she's just very happy, and she's very appreciative, and I love that I was able to help her find her biological truth. I hope that you're enjoying these stories. If you can, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Hit like and comment on what you think about Danielle's story. See you next time.